We are instructed to give unto you the law of consecration, as contained in the book of Doctrine and Covenants, in connection with the law of the gospel and the law of sacrifice, which you have already received. It is that you do consecrate yourselves, your time, talents, and everything with which the Lord has blessed you, or with which he may bless you, to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for the building up of the kingdom of God on the earth, and for the establishment of Zion. Each of you, bring your right arm to the square. You and each of you covenant and promise before God, angels, and these witnesses at this altar, that you do accept the law of consecration as contained in the Doctrine and Covenants, in that you do consecrate yourselves, your time, talents, and everything with which the Lord has blessed you, or with which he may bless you, to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for the building up of the kingdom of God on the earth, and for the establishment of Zion. Each of you, bow your head and say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I seek the inspiration of the Lord as I speak briefly on what I consider to be a very important subject. I begin by taking you back 150 years and more. In 1849, our forebears faced a serious problem. Our people had then been in the Salt Lake Valley for 2 years. Missionaries in the British Isles and Europe continued to gather converts. They came into the church by the hundreds. When they were baptized, they desired to gather to Zion. Their strength and their skills were needed here, and their wish to come was very strong. But many of them were distressingly poor, and they had no money with which to buy passage. How were they to get here? Under the inspiration of the Lord, a plan was devised. What was known as the Perpetual Emigration Fund was established. Under this plan, funded by the church, notwithstanding its serious poverty at that time, money was loaned to those members who had little or nothing. Loans were made with the understanding that when the converts arrived here, they would find employment, and as they were able to do so, they would pay off the loan. The money repaid would then be loaned to others to make it possible for them to emigrate. It was a revolving resource. It was truly a perpetual emigration fund. With the help of this fund, it is estimated that some 30,000 converts to the church were enabled to gather to Zion. They became a great strength to the work here. Some of them came with needed skills, such as stonemasonry, and others developed skills. They were able to perform a tremendous service in constructing buildings, including the Salt Lake Temple and Tabernacle, and doing other work which required expertise. They came here by wagons and by handcarts. Notwithstanding the terrible handcart tragedy of 1856, when approximately 200 of them died from cold and sickness on the plains of Wyoming, they traveled safely and became an important part of the family of the church in these mountain valleys. For instance, James Moyle was a stonecutter in Plymouth, England, when he was baptized at the age of 17. Of that occasion, he wrote, "I then covenanted with the Lord that I would serve him through good and evil report. It was the turning point in my life, as it kept me from evil company." Notwithstanding his skill as a mason, he had little money. He borrowed from the Perpetual Emigration Fund and left England in 1854, sailed to America, crossed the plains, and almost immediately secured employment as a stonemason on the Lion House at $3 a day. He saved his money, and when he had $70, the amount of his indebtedness, he promptly repaid the immigration fund. He said, "I then considered that I was a free man." When the Perpetual Immigration Fund was no longer needed, it was dissolved. I believe that many within the sound of my voice are descendants of those who were blessed by reason of this fund. You are today prosperous and secure because of what was done for your forebears. Now, my brethren, we face another problem in the church. We have many missionaries, both young men and young women, who are called locally and who serve with honor in Mexico, Central America, South America, the Philippines, and other places. They have very little money, but they make a contribution with what they have. They are largely supported from the General Missionary Fund, to which many of you contribute, and for these contributions, we are very deeply grateful. They become excellent missionaries, working side by side with elders and sisters sent from the United States and Canada. While in this service, they come to know how the church operates. They develop a broadened understanding of the gospel. They learn to speak some English. They work with faith and devotion. Then comes the day of their release. They return to their homes. Their hopes are high, but many of them have great difficulty finding employment because they have no skills. They sink right back into the pit of poverty from which they came. Because of limited abilities, they are not likely to become leaders in the church. They are more likely to find themselves in need of welfare help. They will marry and rear families who will continue in the same cycle that they have known. Their future is bleak indeed. There are some others who have not gone on missions who find themselves in similar circumstances in development of skills to lift them from the ranks of the poor. In an effort to remedy this situation, we propose a plan which we believe is inspired by the Lord. The church is establishing a fund, largely from the contributions of faithful Latter-day Saints who have and will contribute for this purpose. We are deeply grateful to them, based on similar principles to those underlying the Perpetual Immigration Fund. We shall call it the Perpetual Education Fund.
Travis Wayne Goodsall, church news time. And we're late. That's okay. Quality that matters, right? In the church news, there's a lot of stuff focusing on little kids and the youth. But the one that caught my attention instantly and immediately was that of Edward Martin and either Alice Clayton or Jane Grey. Can't tell the polygamous wives apart. They all look the same. He came in the Martin Handcart Company, named after him. He was the leader of it. In 1856. They arrived in Salt Lake City in November. And anybody who's been following me for years knows exactly the topic we're going to be talking about right now. So, to set the chronology in order, after Joseph Smith was assassinated, Brigham Young took those who chose to follow him in the Vanguard Company to this valley. And that was it, the Vanguard Company. There was a ship from England that started in 1846, I believe. And they were supposed to head over to California, get there through that way. But the majority of the rest of the converts to the church were poor. Because of the Danites, Mormons were being chased around the United States. And so they didn't have opportunities for prosperity. And in 1844, Brigham Young published a Doctrine and Covenants, and in there was section 119. And section 119 is on tithing. It's now priestcraft. Apparently by Joseph in 1838. Apparently Joseph did a complete 180 switch on his personality and character. Was the leader of the Danites, was murdering Mormons who didn't join him, changed the name of the church to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, was now all of a sudden practicing polygamy, was doing child brides and other men's wives, etc. And murder, plundering, rape, burning, and tithing, priestcraft. And so Mormons believe this is true, because the prophets tell us it is. Ex foe never mows, believe it's true. I, however, if you want to know my opinion, no, Travis, we don't. I looked up the Joseph Smith papers and did my research from there. Oh, Brigham Young and his Danites were the ones who framed Joseph Smith and did all those things. But no, we got to keep Mormons listening. It's got to be faith promoting. Those who have been with me for years and know the subject we're going to be talking about, no, this is not going to be faith promoting Mormons. You're in the wrong church. They've lied to you. They're going to enslave you again. That's why they're bringing this up. Because we're in the millennium. Yep. Slavery is being brought back in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah. So Gordon B. Hinckley's Perpetual Education Fund was put at the beginning of this video. I've already got it recorded and set to be put in. So if it didn't get put in, oh my hell, what's wrong with me? That's why all converts, after Joseph Smith died, came to the valley when Brigham Young put out the call for this criminal operation was because they were told it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they were Danites of Brigham Young, and so they all assumed Brigham Young was calling them to Zion. And so, yeah, the Martin Handcart Company lost a couple hundred lives on that one. And so, yeah, he was a photographer, and that's why they're talking about him, is because they've got photographic evidence of the criminal operation that he was involved with, not just Gordon B. Hinckley's character that he talked about. In 1887, the United States of America had signed into law through Grover Cleveland on March 3rd what is called the Edmunds-Tucker Act. And the church would lead you to believe that it was against polygamy, their religious freedom rights for child bride marriages and other men's wives. No. Even Wikipedia gets it right, but you got to get to the part that goes, oh, well, why didn't you say this at the beginning? Why did you lead us to believe it was on polygamy? Because Oakes, a couple years back, did his world tour. The United States is mean because they took away our freedom of religion to resume polygamy. And in case you didn't know, the Edmunds-Tucker Act was dissolved, rescinded, whatever it's called, in 1978. Anybody else knows what happened in 1978 for the church? James and Jasmine do. And where are you guys? You've gone missing again. What the hell? Come on. Tease, tease, tease. You better be dead. This is torture for me. And so in 2019, Nelson changed the law of chastity. You now have to obey polygamy now. How many Mormons are being obedient and practicing polygamy? Oakes just told you your underwear is your covenant to keep the law of chastity. Hello? Why are you not obeying? This is why they're bringing this out. They're hoping you catch on, because the law of consecration is what they are pushing here with the church news about Brother Martin, Edward Martin, slavery. And I will try to remember to put in the clip of the law of consecration for you so that you can all be clear you're slaves to build the kingdom. We're in the millennium. Nelson's been a bad boy. He didn't get the temple finished, didn't get the palace finished, and nor the throne, so that Jesus could have been coronated on Saturday for conference. So Jesus is angry, and the prophets had to escalate things, and so after conference, the priesthood down in Arizona attacked women. That's the whole purpose for it, is to restore women barefoot in the kitchen, pregnant. No education, no mission, no career, pregnant every single year. And polygamy. So once a girl turns 10 years of age, time to start breeding, dear. This is the church, and this is what they're doing. They're setting it up for it. You got to know the big picture. And if you're going to accuse me of being a hater, leave us alone, Travis. Are you kidding me? Are you that illiterate that you can't read in the Book of Mormon the learning of the Jews, and yet for some reason you think that's Christian with Jesus. Can you say supersessionism? Or maybe it would be better to say replacement theology. The religion of the Jews overrun and usurped and replaced with Christianity. Just because it's non-Trinitarian Jesus doesn't mean you're not Constantine's Jesus. Everything else is the same as what he did. And I've been going over all these years about how it's an abomination. It's right there in the 1838 history. Wait a minute, Joseph was supposed to have changed the name of the church. It's a good thing Willard Richards corrected him. God. So, the Edmunds-Tucker Act, the provisions. Ignore the legislative history. It's misleading. It's not about polygamy. The act disincorporated both the church and the perpetual immigration fund. Notice when Hinckley said that it was through, time to move on. Yep, he pulled Thomas B. Marsh again. He lied. He would not tell you it's a crime. This was part of the tithing of Section 119, used for the Perpetual Immigration Fund. And notice the example Hinckley gave. The guy said, I now felt free. Yeah, you paid your debt. Hinckley forgot to say, Brigham then gave him citizenship. Which was also why the United States shut him down. Oh my hell. This church is just pure evil. I don't understand why Mormons want to be evil. Seriously. Those of you who attack me, you know the church is wrong. You know I'm right. You live in denial. You bear testimony of your lies, and you think I'm going to be convinced that none of this has happened? That all my study and research is wrong because I didn't pray and get the right feeling to dismiss all the truth and science and logic, feelings, the spirit. And Hinckley said, Jesus ordered it. And so yes, with this financial scam of human trafficking, when polygamy is involved, it says on the grounds that they fostered polygamy. Sex trafficking. Child sex trafficking. Hello? Mormons just want to live in denial. Dear God. Alrighty. Pretty much it. Pretty much it. Church is bringing back slavery. And so yeah, I'm waiting for something for Passover. I'm waiting for the election now, but a 9/11 event is supposed to happen before then, but they failed. All three Jesuses failed to show on the day he was supposed to show. Fortunately, not a single Christian believes there is a day known. So Nelson gets a reprieve from all of you Mormons who didn't understand what conference was supposed to be about, and that Nelson had failed. Oh my hell. Dear God, guys. Come on. Oops. Got sister missionaries. Jasmine, if you're listening and you're not going to go another 2 months without catching up on my videos, I've got a series planned for your picture. Just be aware, it's coming. Hilarious. Yeah, I'm surprised. That video has done very well so far. Alright, we're done.